Let's hear it for Toby. All right. Are you fired up? Ready to go? Fired up? Ready to go? Stand up and stretch. All right.
Oh, that feels good.
Fired up? All right. Here we go. What is this platform about? It's about our vision. It's about our values. But I want to suggest to you it is about power. You know, Frederick Douglass, the great abolitionist, taught us that power concedes nothing. Nothing without a demand. It never has, and it never will. Show me, he said, what people will put and submit to quietly, and I will show you the full measure of injustice that will be inflicted upon them. So, we have Gilded Age inequality, a climate in crisis, a corrupted and broken democracy. We suffer the injustice. And there's only one question for all of you and for all of us. Are you ready to submit quietly?
No!
Are you ready to give up?
No!
Are you ready to acquiesce?
No!
Hell no!
Hell no.
So we're going to build a movement and make that demand. We're going to drive that demand. We have the people to drive that demand into the political process, into the political debate. We have the plans to move that program in city halls and in state houses and in congressional chambers, and to shake the boardrooms of corporations and the bordellos of Wall Street. Now, the platform has our basic values. A healthy start for every child. Quality public education, including debt-free college. A living wage. Empower workers and curb the CEO excesses. Tax the rich and the corporations and use that money to invest in our future.
Oh, yeah!
But we are not talking about redecorating here. We're talking about taking over and building the thing from the bottom up. And that means challenging organized money with mobilized people, cleaning out the stables and taking our democracy back. And Reclaim Chicago was just the first skirmish in that battle. That means closing down that Wall Street casino, boarding up those payday scoundrels, and making finance serve people rather than savage them.
Yeah.
And the Robin Hood tax is just the first chapter of that story.
Yeah.
And it means trade accords that lift workers up here and abroad rather than drive them into a fast track on a race to the bottom.
Yeah.
And the fight over TPP is the first victory in that fight. Now, the last time we had inequality this great was over 100 years ago in the Gilded Age. And it was only challenged when farmers and farm workers and laborers and small business people gathered together and they built a populist movement. They built it from the ground up. They challenged the banks. They challenged the corrupted parties, the corrupted politics. We can learn from them. They sent 40,000 lecturers across the country to educate and to enlist. They took over city councils and state houses. They changed the politics of their time. They confronted both parties and made them react to them so that they ended up competing for their agenda. They gave us the 8-hour day. They gave us a constitutional amendment to be able to tax the rich. They banned corporate money in politics. They gave us food and drug laws. And they would have done a lot more, but they got divided and weakened by race-based politics as elites turned blacks and whites against each other. And we can learn from that too, and we will turn to each other and not on each other. want to do, and this isn't something you're going to do in a year or an election cycle. NPA says it takes 40 years. That's a lifetime for me. It's a life mission for all of us. And one thing we know is that people have started to stir. We saw it with Occupy. We saw it with Black Lives Matter. We saw it with the Fight for 15. We saw it with the Dreamers. People are starting to move. Frederick Douglass said, without struggle, there is no progress. People who want freedom without agitation are people who want crops without tilling the land. That ain't right. They want rain without thunder and lightning. That ain't right. They want the oceans without the roar of the waters. Right? Well, then there's an easy question. Are you ready to roar? Are you ready for thunder and lightning? Are you going to till the field?